And he just moved in. Like, well, you can argue about it if you want, but I'm here, and I'm going to do it. And I mean, he was a reactionary of the first kind, and just made everyone unhappy so that he wasn't renominated for president. Then he returned home, and he actually supported secession. Now here's a man who took the oath to be president of the United States. Think about the rationalization up here that allows you to say, yeah, I know, but. Does that sound familiar? So we get this reactionary enslavement is just fine. And I'm going to stop all progressive thoughts in America while I'm president. And then when I don't get my way, I'm going to get myself elected a Confederate congressman. Okay, fast forward. Next Virginian to be nominated to a national ticket, Tim Kaine. Slightly different than John Tyler. Civil rights lawyer. A white councilman in Richmond who is so esteemed and has worked so well at racial harmony and moving the city forward in overcoming our fears and the divisiveness that others want to exploit. An African American majority on the council elects him the mayor.
Yes.
It's the power of overcoming fear. It's the power of being able to overcome looking at someone as the other. Whether it's an immigrant or somebody of color. That's the beauty of America, isn't it?
Yes.
And let me tell you the power of not doing that. Look at what happened in the former Yugoslavia. People who had lived together in neighborhoods, cheek by jowl for 300, 400 years, suddenly killing each other. Because somebody got in their head, that's the other. And it's very dangerous. And the beauty of being here is, we heard it last night, and I thought one of the most powerful lineups of any convention I've ever attended. Calling us to the better angels of our nature, as Abraham Lincoln talked about it. And the stakes are very high. This is not a partisan election anymore. This is about our country. You know, that rationalization that John Tyler must have gone through to rationalize his way into supporting secession, having been the president. You're not just anybody. You were the president. You took an oath. You know, you hear it all the time. I do, where I work and Don works and Bobby works, from colleagues. You know, you'll say, well, but he hates women. Well, I know, but he wants to violate the Constitution and be on a whole class of people based on their religious beliefs. Well, I know, but at least he says what he thinks. Yeah, that's the problem. Let's stay there for a minute. He thinks all Mexicans are criminals and are coming here clearly for only one intent. Rob us blind and worse. Well, I know, but. And I mean, it's just amazing, the rationalization and the power of rationalization to do bad things in the name of good things. I'm sure John Tyler believed the Bible said slavery was what God intended. He thought of himself as a moral man, and he rationalized his whole life. And it took a civil war and another 150 years legally to try to get ourselves out of that mess. That's the evil power of rationalization. So Tim Kaine gives us a chance to redeem ourselves, Virginia. But I have to say, as somebody who's lived in Virginia a long time and had the privilege of representing Virginians for these past 23 years, I don't think we need that much redemption, because we're a very different place. When we describe our history to our kids, they don't understand it. You're kidding. There was separate schools? Why? I can remember when my daughter was young, I took her to Luther Jackson School, which had been the segregated high school, when we finally built one. Other than that, the kids were actually bused out of the county to go to high school, while they had to watch their counterparts, their peers, on corners going to their local school. And so I brought my daughter to an event at Luther Jackson, and of course, it is no longer that kind of school, but I took her to the trophy case, and I wanted a test. I said, what do you see in this trophy case? Oh, no, it's trophies. A lot of kids with pictures. I said, I know, but look a little closer. I mean, she must have gone through 20 guesses all wrong. And finally she looked at me and she went, well, they're all black. I went, yes. And I said, does that strike you? And she said, well, not particularly, but tell me about it. And I told her, and this was like aliens must have, inhabited Northern Virginia. It made no sense to a 10-year-old. But a lot of adults rationalized, didn't they? So I say to you, we've had a great convention. And honestly, this is my 6th. And I have never had a more powerful evening than we did last night in terms of that lineup. Gently but firmly, let's challenge our neighbors, our friends, our family members who are engaged in that great rationalization. Yeah, I know, but. No. There is no but. That, yeah, I know, is a big problem. For America. For America. It's not just about Democrats winning an election. It's about making sure we never let an authoritarian figure, the first ever nominated by one of the two parties, to get within a Donald Trump mile of the Oval Office. So it's really a glorious cause. And as we redeem ourselves from the ignominious memory of John Tyler, let us Virginians show the rest of the country the way. We reject that great racialization because we know what damage it can do. And we're not going to let it happen in the rest of our great country. Thank you, fellow Virginians. God bless you all.